Hello everyone. I'd like to pose a question. Is it appropriate to love a fictional character? I don't mean be in love. Being romantically attracted to someone who isn't real is silly. I just mean love. There are many different kinds of love, and I love my family, my friends, and even my pets, all in different ways. So, is it okay to love a fictional character? I think so. After all, why do we love? If a person is fun and interesting to be around, if that person cares for you and you care in return, if they have a beautiful soul and you find joy in their joy, agonize over their unhappiness, hope that life treats them well, and feel like it's your duty to help and stand by this person as much as you can, then you love that person, at least by my definition. If you have those feelings very intensely for someone, then why should the reality of that person make any difference? Remember Ruby Sparks? This was a great indie film from 2012 about a struggling writer who inadvertently conjures his dream girl, played by Zoe Kazan, by literally writing her into existence. The writer, Calvin, Paul Dano, tries to come to terms with this very complicated miracle and his responsibility to it, and consults his therapist for advice.
I'm glad you found something that inspires you.
Inspires me. Like I'm falling in love with her.
That's wonderful.
I can't fall in love with a girl I write.
Why not?
Because she's not real.
There's a line at which such a mentality becomes unhealthy and obsessive, but Calvin's therapist is right. If a story's world is vivid and exciting to explore, if the narrative moves you deeply and profoundly, and if you feel what the characters are enduring, then doesn't this beauty and impact make the story real on some level, at least in our minds and hearts? If so, I think you're fully justified in feeling love for a fictional character. I don't love many fictional characters, mind you. Curiously, most of the fictional characters I love are in video games, with Fungal Foxwit from The Knoll as my one literary example, and a few years ago I kind of viewed Donna Noble from Doctor Who as a bit like a cool aunt, you know what I mean. This is likely due to the interactivity of the video game medium. No matter how tight a film or book grips you and pulls you into its world, you are generally a detached observer, but in video games, characters are interacting with and depending on you, or at least a proxy of you, as a direct participant in the events. All creative media seeks to cultivate emotional attachment, but video games can sometimes make it more personal. When I was little, I viewed Atris from the Myst series as a bit of a father figure, although I've always had a great relationship with my real dad. I loved Serana from the Dawnguard expansion of Skyrim, and felt great affection for Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite. And I deeply love Max Caulfield and Chloe Price in Life is Strange. Life is Strange is an episodic adventure game drama developed by Dontnod Entertainment. The game follows Max Caulfield, a meek but gifted photography student at Blackwell Academy in the town of Arcadia Bay. One day, Max discovers that she can reverse time, and with this ability saves the life of her long-estranged best friend, Chloe Price. Max and Chloe then team up to investigate the disappearance of Rachel Amber, a Blackwell student and friend of Chloe's, all while a catastrophic storm looms in the future. Episode 1 of 5 came out on January 30, 2015. Episode 4 came out just a few days ago, and the final 5th episode will hopefully be coming out in October, from what I've been hearing. Life is Strange is a heartbreakingly beautiful, exquisitely plotted game with a sensitive take on teenage drama and relationships. The game has some of the most nuanced, sympathetic characters in any game. Max and Chloe are both good people with relatable flaws and insecurities, and your heart reaches out to them almost instantly. For instance, Chloe has engaged in self-destructive behavior after never fully getting over her father William's death, and though she is mending things now, Max never really had a good excuse for not staying in touch with Chloe after moving away from Arcadia Bay years ago. This kind of drifting apart happens to a lot of us. The pacing is excellent, as you spend a lot of time as Max reconnecting and growing close to Chloe, mingling with other students, and learning about life in Arcadia Bay, thus smoothly building up to the big conflicts and emotional wallops, such as student Kate Marsh being the victim of horrific bullying, rich kid Nathan Prescott's sadism, and the ongoing Rachel Amber mystery. The time manipulation mechanic looks cool and produces many fascinating puzzles, and the moral choices, which have lasting, meaningful consequences across the episodes, hurt. They hurt precisely because we are so invested and caring toward the characters and their struggles. Yes, I love Max for her quiet, simple kindness, her passion for art, and her resourcefulness. I love Chloe for her sassy, rebellious attitude, her wit, and her compassion. Very few video games, and heck, few movies, have created such a deep and profound emotional attachment in me. Let me also tell you something about sadness. I thankfully haven't experienced much personal tragedy in my life. My grandfather passed away when I was 12, and one of my uncles died of a heart attack just last year, but neither event was that sad for me, as I was never very close to either of them. I was probably more affected when I learned that Philip Seymour Hoffman died. Be warned, I am just about to reveal a major spoiler of episodes 3 and 4 of Life is Strange. If you haven't played Life is Strange yet, but intend to in the future, or haven't finished those episodes yet, turn back now or press this button to avoid the spoiler. At the end of episode 3, Max travels back in time to when she was 13 by focusing on an old photograph. She is able to avert Chloe's father's death, but in doing so creates an alternate timeline in which Chloe was the one caught in a car accident and rendered a quadriplegic. As with the original timeline, Max reconnects with Chloe and they reminisce about old times. Chloe knows that her life support is only putting off the inevitable, and though she's persevered for so long, she and her family have both been suffering under her condition. Ultimately, Chloe's wish is for you to let her die, as she wants her last memory to be of hanging out with her best friend like they were kids again. This, even more so than the game's other powerful moral choices, is a crushing decision to make, but it feels right. Feeling negative emotions can be a good thing. Inside Out demonstrated that nicely. People watch horror movies because the fear reaction gives them an emotional high. More importantly, while moderation is key, if you don't feel appropriate sadness at a loved one's hardship or anger at an injustice, then there'd be something wrong with you. Feeling this sad about Chloe, as you let her peacefully drift away, felt good. I'm not happy at what's happened to her, of course, but I'm glad I feel this sadness, as it's only the right way to feel about someone you care about so much in such a tragic situation. For all these reasons, Life is Strange is one of the best games I've ever played. And it's not done yet. I eagerly look forward to the final episode. Given the twists at the end of episode 4, the wait's going to be painful. Thanks for watching. Cheers.